morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Accounting and Finance Show. I'm your host for the session. My name is Caroline. On to our first panel session. The topic is how cloud accounting is changing the way we work. I'm going to hand over to our moderator for the morning. Her name is Ms. Anu De Alvis, and she's the Managing Director for Ultimate Access. On to you, Anu. Morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Accounting and Finance Show. I'm your host for the session. My name is Caroline.
Good morning, everyone, and thank you, Caroline. I'm delighted to be presenting at this show today, and my name is Andrew De Alvis. I'm from Australia, and I live and work in Dubai, UAE. So I'm an accountant myself, and very much into the tech space as well. I run a company called Ultimate Access. It's an education company. We're based in UAE. And with me, we got some great panelists. I'd like to introduce them to you. And first, Nestene Botha. Hi, Nestene. Good morning. You want to give a quick intro to everybody?
Sure. Thank you, Anu. Thank you for having me. I'm so happy to be here this morning. So just quickly, guys, I am a chartered accountant, registered auditor. I have a master's in accounting education. I've been nominated twice as one of the top 35 CASAs in South Africa with the SAICA competition. I'm also a panel member of the Audit Development Program, POE, for the IRBA. And then what I'm currently doing is I'm leading an innovative entrepreneurial development company called Explore Protech. So yeah, really excited to be here.
Thank you, Nestene. And over to you, Bright. Good morning.
Good morning, Andrew. Good morning, everybody. Wow, this is really a nice pleasure doing it for the second time. But yeah, in essence, my name is Bright Phahle. I'm a business accountant in practice. I founded and run my online accounting firm, which is called Bright Planning. And basically, I out there to help small entrepreneurs, medium-sized entrepreneurs, as well as some corporates to be able to strategically, become better businesses and really just use technology to get to the next level of their business goals. And practically that's what I do, nice and simple. And yeah, look forward to having an exciting session with you guys.
Yes, indeed. It's going to be a very exciting session. And Tinashe, good morning to you.
Good morning. Good morning, Andrew. I'm an accountant with over 20 years experience. I qualified with FCCA in the UK. I've got a master's in management from the UK. After completing my qualification, I worked in business for over 10 years. Then I decided to open my own accounting firm. I'm working in Johannesburg, helping like Bright, helping SMEs and small businesses. And yeah, that basically summarizes who I am.
Okay, thank you. And Louw. Good morning to you, Louw.
Hey, Andrew. Thanks so much for having me. It's good to be back at the Accounting and Finance Show. So my name is Louw Barnardt. I'm one of the co-founders of a company called Outsource Cfo. It's a CFO services and cloud accounting company based in Cape Town, South Africa, that works with scale-up sized entrepreneurs in terms of rethinking, automating, and scaling those companies up to help the business owners really understand the finances and the driving engine behind the company and figuring out how to move that business forward.
Thank you, guys. So today's session, we're going to talk about how cloud accounting is changing the way we work. And all of us being accountants, we've seen this transition, we've seen these changes taking place. And I have a few questions for you. What is cloud computing? I wanted to ask Nestene to give us a very quick intro on what is cloud computing really?
Thank you, Anu. So cloud computing and cloud accounting really just means, in the simplest terms possible, that we are able to stay in contact 24/7 with the people using the platform with us. So all data is pretty much processed and kept in real time online, and all data is turned into information in the same space of time. So that is what cloud computing is.
And Louw, I just want to get your insight and ask you, why should accountants move into this cloud computing? Why should they go into this new space?
Yeah, so thanks, Anu. I think there's multiple reasons why it's really exciting for accountants to be able to have a look at the new technologies coming out and to see how cloud is changing the game in terms of how finance and accounting is done. So I think Nestene has mentioned live access. I think that's one of the major things, to have live access to financial information for the clients you work with or the company that you help to run at all times on all devices from all over the world, as long as you have an internet connection. That's quite exciting in terms of this new world of working from anywhere, really. I also think data security is a big thing. If you were to host all of your client financial information on your own service, you'd have to do a lot of work in terms of running and maintaining and securing that data. So it really creates a lot of layers of security to know that there are big companies with massive teams that can take care of the data that makes so that it makes sense. And yeah, just having direct access to the different people who are role players in the company. So with cloud accounting, as an example, the investors and the director team and the accounting team offsite can all have access to the financial information at the same time, which is quite exciting. And then lastly, I think just the element of machine learning coming in, making things faster, quicker, starting to do auto allocations more and more, and linking with things like governments in terms of tax returns. I really think that's the future. So I think there's a lot of really exciting reasons why accountants should be looking at the cloud.
Thank you. And Tinashe, what's your take on this? Why should accountants move to cloud computing? I know you've got experience in corporate, now you've started your own company. So what is your view on this?
Look, everything is going tech, everything is going on the internet, and accountants are not going to lag behind. It's an important platform that we are going into. Like what Louw has just said, it makes it very much easier to coordinate with your colleagues, to coordinate with your clients. Obviously, there are issues around cloud accounting, but without a doubt, everything is going into the cloud, and accountants need to ride on that bandwagon.
Thank you. And Bright, I know you have helped a number of your clients in this transition, and with from this experience, what do you think the top 3 things that one should consider in this transition?
All right, thanks, Anu. Well, the top 3 things I would recommend that should be looked into when one is transitioning is obviously online presence. I feel like this is a very important aspect because many people don't know how to exist on an online platform, because everybody keeps on talking about the same, topic when it comes to cloud. Everybody, some people even think a cloud is a literal cloud. Like, in other words, people don't have a proper understanding of the terminologies that come with this sort of new normal or this new way of doing things. So, going back to the online presence is that people need to understand exactly how to establish your online presence, effectively dividing your individual or personal aspect of your life as well as your business aspect of life. And the reason being is that this creates trust. When you do that, you're able to be in a trust, you're able to generate trust within the ecosystem of people looking to employ your services. And that's a very important aspect to have, because if people don't trust you, you can imagine as accountants, we deal with people's finances, we deal with things are very personal to people in the sense of their business, their finances, and all these aspects. And if you guys can't establish trust, it's going to prevent you from doing your work, and you're not going to give them any value that they expect from you. And the third thing is technology options. Many people end up going for the latest software or anything that is branded the best. But if you as a potential user of these softwares don't know how and which software is appropriate for you, for your level of business, for the level of engagement that you're having with your clients, you're going to be in a position whereby you have the best software available, but you're going to have the most, the least amount of work outputs in order to potential clients. So yeah, in summary, online presence is the first consideration. Establishing trust will be the second one. And the last one is, knowing the right technology to use for your business.
Thank you. Those are really very important points that you mentioned. And going into our next question, I want to get Louw's perspective on this. And Louw, you as a founder, managing director of Outsource Cfo, you would have come across many examples. What are the tools that someone can use, and also how do we start this journey? So if you can give us some examples from your experience, some case studies, so that we don't fall into traps. We know how to go through this journey more successfully.
Right, yeah, so there's a lot of exciting tools out there at the moment. So I think if we just start with the heart of the accounting function, will be your cloud accounting tool. So there's a couple of industry leaders there in terms of looking at your Sage or your QuickBooks Online or your Xero. You want to make sure that the heart of the accounting function for your own business and for the client companies you runs on a proper cloud technology, cloud accounting tool like Xero as the heart. We specifically like Xero because of its integration capabilities, because you want your accounting system to be open enough to integrate with various other systems, because as important as the accounting and the processing of transactions and creation of management reports really are for a company, and it is, there's also many other operational functions of a business that you would like to incorporate, that it flows through one system, that there's an integrated flow of information. For instance, if I think of source documents that used to be paper, if you use a digitalization tool like Receipt Bank, you can quickly and simply capture all of your source documents, all of your paperwork, whether it's invoices or slips or anything else you would have in the old days put in a shoebox for your accountant. You can capture those with your phone, and it auto processes onto the into the cloud, where the information is analyzed online, and the actual transaction can be processed automatically in terms of who is the supplier, what is the amount, what is the VAT on the transaction. So you want a proper tool for digitization of paperwork, I think, firstly. So Receipt Bank is something I definitely recommend for that. You want something that helps with taxes, for payroll taxes. A tool like Simple Pay can really help. So an easy cloud tool that helps you with processing of payroll and payroll taxes is quite useful. And then I think when you've got your your compliance and your accounting and your source document layers ready, you want to look at more advanced financial information. How can you analyze and dissect and present information in a way that is understandable to the shareholders and the business owners that you actually report to at the end of the day? So something there like like your Fathom or your Spotlight reporting, or a tool that can plug into your cloud accounting system and bring out really advanced and beautiful reports is quite important. And then I think cash flow management is definitely a critical part of finance that you also need to look at the tools. I think up until very recently, like building a bespoke spreadsheet-based kind of forecasting tool has been kind of the best thing possible. New tools like Float are coming out now that plug into your cloud accounting systems, and with which you can then kind of seamlessly do forecasting. And then lastly, I think a tool for inventory management is quite big. If you work in a manufacturing or product-based industry, or your clients do, then a tool like Unleashed Inventory is quite exciting. It's a cloud tool that can plug into your accounting system as well, with which you can do advanced reporting and planning on your inventory management. So that's definitely a big thing. And then, yeah, our journey, to answer your second question, with cloud technology started about 6-7 years ago, not too long after we started Outsource Cfo. We came into the market with the offering of CFO services, chartered accountant level professionals that can work with founder-led companies to drive growth within the business from a finance perspective, that can really play that role of a financial co-founder in the business to help guide the often not financially minded founders to build a great company based on good numbers. But then very quickly into that journey, we found that the entrepreneurs in the kind of small and mid-size space don't often have a good accounting function. There is often not even the base layer of access to basic information in terms of an accurate income and expenses account, accurate debtors book, accurate flow of information through invoicing, etc. So we found that our CFOs can't really do their work if they don't have access to live access to quality financial information. That was a big deterrent for us to not be able to execute on the high level elements of building a great company. So we went onto this journey to say, like, we have to create an accounting department that can work with our CFOs to get the financial information and the bookkeeping and reporting up to a certain level where the CFOs can take it from there and really move things to that next level. So that's when we started the accounting journey, and then realized, well, accounting is painful and slow. If you have to have a heap of bank statements and a heap of slips that you actually have to auto process, like, no one went onto an accountant journey and no one started studying accounting to process bank statements. So we said, right, there has to be a better way to do this. And then we started looking at the different cloud tools that have been coming out at that time. Found things like your Sage Onlines at the time, and then Xero quite quickly after that. Cloud accounting tools and paperwork digitalization tools that really make things simpler, easier, faster, and hassle-free for accountants to manage client profiles, and also adds to the entrepreneurial companies we work with in that now the founders can have access to their information directly. So then about 6 odd years ago, we started this journey of kind of focusing on what, right, we want to be one of the best cloud accounting practices in the country as well. We want to kind of co-pilot our CFO services offering with a cloud accounting offering that can be as strong. And that's basically been the journey we've been on, like figuring out what is the best cloud tech stack in the world, how does it change, how does it move, staying on top of that, and really building a great team that's at the front end of understanding how that technology works and how it can add value to the accounting teams in-house, and also to the founder and entrepreneur and management teams that we work with as our clients.
Thank you, Louw. I want to take you back to this cloud tools because, well, you get these names, the big names, like Sage, Xero, etc. But also, you find many people, many IT companies starting, or even companies themselves trying to build these accounting softwares, ERPs, various other accounting related applications. What are your views on this?
Look, it is possible with the technology that exists to build your own framework if you're very bespoke. I would just say, if you start from ground zero, the complexity in terms of building a full-scale, accounting and reporting and process management system, it's difficult. There are companies that have been specializing in that for years and for decades, and there is a reason for that. So I think with the accessibility of great tools that have already been built over years, and companies that really specialize in creating these tools, I think it's more a process of figuring out which of the best practice tools around the world would work the best for your company, and how can you, master them and incorporate them to create the perfect system. Because I was like, regardless of what the complexities within your company are, I think one or more of the existing tools will probably already cover that. And if they don't, lots of them have open APIs where you can build integrations from your own software into their software to make sure that there's that they can speak to each other. So I would really caution against starting a journey of trying to build something that companies with billions of dollars have already invested decades in and have become really good at. Just use the best practice software and run with that, and build your own software and intelligence on top of that would be my recommendation.
I agree with you, Louw, because even with large companies, if they're trying to compete with the likes of the big ERP companies, they will fall behind, isn't it? And simply because of, they don't have that speciality and the R&D that large tech companies pour into their software. and that's their core business, because suddenly you're trying to go into the software business, which is not your speciality or the core business.
Yeah, I've seen this gone horribly wrong for big mid-sized companies with hundreds of people on staff, where they've started building bespoke in-house, and they've built on top of that and bolted on top of that, and this sheet gets drawn out of this system, and this system is supposed to speak to that one. And at the end of the day, people in key positions within that software stack leave, and no one knows how exactly the information flows or what the backend should be like, and it creates a very messy control environment. It makes audit very difficult, and it becomes a huge pain, and it can actually keep the business back from doing what they are actually supposed to do, which is not really run their own accounting system, right? They didn't set out to do that. Otherwise, they would have been an accounting systems company. So yeah, steer clear of that if you can.
Thank you very much. I think people who are listening to this session should take a note of that, because I've seen myself several companies going through this issue and trying to build their own applications, or the other favorite area is trying to customize things. So be very careful in this space. Now let's talk about opportunities for SMEs. I like Nestene to talk to this one. I know that you got loads of experience with the SME space.
Thanks, Anu. Yeah, how much time do you have? Because this is the part that gets me really excited. So I'm an entrepreneurship coach first before I'm an accountant, actually. So just working with entrepreneurs, especially in the professional services industry and especially in the accounting and finance industry, is one of my passions. And the opportunities out there and the way they've been amplified, even because of the COVID-19 pandemic, is what gets me super excited. But I'm going to try to keep it concise. I'm going to give you my favorite opportunities that are out there at the moment, and then we can move on from there. And then if anyone has any questions, I can elaborate on one or two of them. Okay, so the first thing that's really awesome that is coming out because of cloud accounting, and that has received a major has become a major focus point even after the COVID-19 pandemic, is the power of virtual teams. So virtual teams, if you manage it correctly, it can be done so well, and it can reap so many benefits for you. That is because you have the ability, when you're using the correct cloud accounting tool stack and with the correct workflow management stack, to keep everyone on the same page continuously the whole time, all the time. It's just, and you can inspire people, you can make them part of the process, you can show them the big picture, you can really draw them into the backstory of each and every single client. It's absolutely fantastic, and that in turn enables the team to do what a team should do, which is perform better than individuals just working together in the same corporate space. So virtual teamwork, there's such amazing things happening in that space, and I can see definitely with accounting firms that have been embracing programs like, say, Asana or Trello or Flock, and really trying their best to keep everyone on the same page the whole time and inspired and working towards the same goal. Everything just gets done so much quicker. So that's a definite win. That's a definite opportunity out there, is virtual teamwork. Then the next one is the training and empowering of true financial independence in our clients. That is a big opportunity for firms. So because cloud accounting gives you the ability to be on the same page 24/7 with live data, you and your client and your whole client's team, there is so much that comes from that in terms of training opportunities, where we can step in and we can identify a problem, often even before the client's team will identify the problem. And you can literally be on the same page, and you can say, okay, don't worry, I'm going to log in. Let's just quickly fix this. Let's have a look. Okay, cool. Do you see how this? Okay, now, by the way, since we fixed this now, would you like a workshop at some stage, like for your whole organization, for your whole accounting team? And then often the answer is yes, please, that will be so amazing. And we can say, like, this is what it's going to save you in terms of efficiency, this is what's it's going to do in terms of accuracy of data in the system, etc., etc. So really stepping into being that go-to person, the problem solver, and the trainer for your clients. That is a fantastic opportunity. So have a look out for that. Also, leading on to that, so with that kind of relationship that comes from, you know, being able to, we're able to do that because of the cloud accounting software. The other key opportunity that comes from that is the ability to do value-based marketing and implement value-based pricing. And this is because of the customer relationship development opportunity that lies in using this software. So when you are working that closely with a client and you become that go-to person and you are able to know them so well that you can identify problems even before they like cause the issue, you know, you already know if this team member at this client is going to log into that software, this is what's going to happen. You can already identify the problems, and the way that you work with the client in order to solve those problems illustrates your value to the client. So, I mean, a lot of my clients, when I was still running my virtual audit firm, which I've sold now, by the way, they had me on WhatsApp, and we constantly had this relationship going. But I mean, with implementing value-based pricing in that system, I sometimes doubled their invoices, honestly, guys, and they would still say, no, it's fine, please, we need you here because we won't be able to survive without you, you know. And that's in a space where everyone in the auditing sector especially was speaking about auditors becoming redundant, not necessary anymore. You know, why do I even need an accountant? People were saying, we're going to be replaced by programs. Software is going to take over our jobs. And here I was on the other side of the spectrum, and my clients were literally like, we'll pay you whatever you want, just stay. Because when I'm on Xero or I'm on Deer or I'm on this system, I want you on the other side to be able to log in with me and take my hand and work through the steps with me. So that is a fantastic opportunity, guys. So look at value-based marketing, look at customer relationship building using these software stacks, and look at value-based pricing, implementing that in your practice. So that ticks off quite a lot. The other thing I wanted to say was the ability to clients really quickly. In terms of efficiency saving, I mean, we all know there is a huge efficiency saving when you're using in terms of production. But in terms of how many clients you can successfully onboard at the same time, that is just us, is you can literally, so we have speed networking events, right? We have online speed networking events that we, sorry guys, I see Caroline is telling me we're breaking up a bit. Slower. I'm almost done though. What was I saying? In terms of the increased efficiencies, yeah. So we have these online speed networking events, for example, that we do on a monthly basis, where we get together with 200, you know, potential customers, potential collaboration partners, and we network. And because I have a program called Practice Ignition, you're welcome, Practice Ignition reps out there. embedded in my website on a page. I can literally be at this online speed networking event, and I can drop the link to the page, and someone that has a problem, so say it comes out in the conversation like, I really need some help with tax structuring, can you see if you can save me some tax? I'm like, no problem, here's the link to the page. They log on to the page, they pop all of their info straight in there, attach their files, give me their e-filing login details, and we're good to go. And that's pretty much, they've just helped me to do so much onboarding work. So all I have to do is be there with the 200 people, drop the link a couple of times, and I would have onboarded in the space of 2 hours, like roughly between 10 and 25 customers. I mean, that is incredible in terms of efficiency. So that is a real big opportunity that's out there. The other opportunity is the last one, I promise. I'm just so excited about this. The other one is having robots on the workforce. So guys, robots don't take leave, they don't get sick, they don't moan, and they work 24/7. So having robots in place to automate some of your routine work that gets done, especially in production, you know, even to a certain extent with regards to customer relationship management, you can really create some, again, efficiencies in the background for yourself, which obviously results in cost saving, and you being able to deliver results to your clients much quicker than all the other accountants out there, which gives you a competitive edge. Which reminds me of I promise this is the last one now. The very last opportunity is the fact that global borders have been removed. So we must know that when we are thinking of our competitive edge in the sector, we are competing on a global level. That's just the reality of it. South African accountants are not only just competing with South African accountants anymore, just like US accountants are not competing only with US accountants, because I can tell you from experience, they're competing with me. Because I did my audit global tax practitioner qualification, so I can literally do tax returns from all over the world, and there's a couple of practitioners like me out there. Also, there's a huge trend for especially entrepreneurs from developed countries outsourcing things like accounting and admin and other types of like admin type work to countries with a better exchange rate. So we're competing on a global scale, but that opens up so much opportunities for us, because we can now compete on a global scale. I mean, that's amazing. Who doesn't want to earn dollars and pay rands, you know? So yeah, very excited about this, and I will keep quiet now. Thank you, Anu.
Thank you, Nestene. I think that's some of the great opportunities that you mentioned. It's worth noting them down and saying how you achieve each one of these things that you mentioned. I think as accountants, we can see global opportunities and also networking with with people and businesses from different parts of the world, and engaging with team members from different parts of the world. That's the normal, not only now, even before, but now it has been really emphasized because of the issue that we're facing, that how we can effectively, efficiently engage with each other. And I want to go to Tinashe to just get your views, Tinashe, on some of the risks, downsides of cloud solutions. We heard a lot of positives, but as accountants, we need to think of the risks as well, because we are that trusted advisor. And I'd like to get your thoughts on this, please.
Thanks, Angie. I'm not the devil's advocate in cloud accounting. I agree with all my colleagues on what they are saying. We have all gone cloud, we have all gone tech, and it's not going to change. That's the way we're going to go. However, as we go into cloud accounting, either as practitioners or as clients, there are things that we need just to be aware of. I mean, the days of the big books of accounting are not coming back. We are now going to be working off the internet. The risks and downsides of cloud accounting Right. The first one is that it's based on the internet. Being based on the internet, there's always a risk on the internet that data could end up in the wrong hands, and your security is compromised, because we know there are criminals out there who are trying to make money out of compromising the internet. So there's a huge risk there. The second risk is that we have so many of these cloud accounting solutions that are coming on board, and if people are not aware, they end up choosing the wrong solution. I mean, I think the panel that's sitting here are very aware of the solutions that we are currently using, which have obviously gone through the mill, and they've now managed to have better security than others. I'm talking Xero, I'm talking QuickBooks, I'm talking Sage, and so forth. But there are many others that have no names that are coming for free, and they are saying they do cloud accounting solutions, which is not necessarily the case. So people need to be aware on the solutions that exist on the internet. Which ones can you go for and which ones shouldn't you go for? And people just need to be aware, the ones that come with a tag that says free accounting solution, just be aware there's a problem there. Just go for the ones that are being paid for. They've done their research to make sure that the security for the practitioner and for the client, right? The next downside is, again, to do with the internet. I mean, in Africa, in South Africa, for example, we have load shedding by Eskom, and I'm sure this happens elsewhere in Africa where electricity is not really available, and that plays down on the practitioner and the client, because you can't do anything without the internet, because the cloud solutions are basically based on the internet. So, and for small businesses, which most of us are working with, there's not always the solution for alternative power source like solar, like generators. So you have to wait for the main utility company to provide the power. And if the power is not there, you actually can't work. And if it happens, like there are times when the disruption is actually very terrible. If it gets to that, it then does affect providing solutions, obviously in the accounting space, right? The next risk that we have, or the downside, is that this technology that we are talking about is not for free, right? You have to pay. You have to buy a computer in order to have cloud solutions. This applies to the practitioner, this applies to the client. And sometimes if you're working for SMEs, it's quite difficult for them to afford those things. Like, for example, SMEs would like to go and borrow money from the bank, and the bank requires financial statements. They cannot afford to pay for Sage subscriptions. They cannot afford to pay for deal. They cannot afford to manage their stocks online. So there is that issue. I mean, the hardwares and the softwares, they don't come for free. And the cloud solutions subscriptions, some of them are quite expensive. I mean, I've gone to clients where I've offered them, look, let's go on Xero, and you tell them the price, you can see them backtracking because they cannot afford that cost. Then last but not least, the downside that we face as practitioners is that the cloud solutions are available to everybody. The client can purchase their own Xero, they can purchase their own Sage, and somehow they quickly think they actually can do the work. They think the Sage and Xero is going to come with a solution and do the processing. It's not like that. You still need an accountant behind this these cloud solutions. You still need somebody who knows what they are doing in order to deliver to you the traditional financial statements, the traditional cash flows. I like what my colleague Louw said. Things are all now on the cloud. We can have cash flows and so forth. However, we have clients that think that these things, once you purchase it, it does it for you. It doesn't. We still need practitioners to be behind this tech in order to deliver the solutions. I think that basically, I think Nestene mentioned the same when she said clients think the programs and the softwares, they come with the solution. They do come with the solution, but this solution needs a practitioner behind. So the knowledge of accounting, the schooling of accounting is still very important in order to deliver these cloud solutions quite effectively. I think that basically sums the downsides and risks that comes with these cloud solutions. Thanks a lot, Angie.
Thank you, Tinashe. I want to get Louw's view on this very quickly, please, the risks and downsides of cloud solutions, because you spoke very highly of the positives, but let's look at this side as well and say, you know, areas where you can provide your input and where others should look out for as well.
Yeah, I think Tinashe made a couple of very good points there. So with remote teams being the norm now in the finance industry at the moment, given the global circumstances, I think access to stable internet connections all around the country or all around the world is definitely a first problem. We don't necessarily have the strongest internet infrastructure in the world here in Africa. So I think making sure that your team has access to the internet is quite important. If you hit a day where someone is offline for the day, then you lose a full day's worth of productivity, which is quite painful. The other thing then also, unfortunately, for the South African environment are those blackouts. I mean, the rest of Africa as well, I guess. If you don't have power, then often the internet lines also go out. So making sure that, I guess one could try to make sure that you have access to the right facilities in terms of generators and internet infrastructure to try and cover those risks. But there are definite downsides. And then, yeah, the information is on the internet. So there's always risk involved in terms of that. I'm definitely not saying, just using the cloud infrastructure is absolutely foolproof. There's still a lot of other elements of data security for your clients that are definitely also important to consider. So I think, yeah, I think those are some of the biggest things that stand out for me as like potential downsides. Yeah, if the power's off, if the internet's off, can't do my work. If someone's account gets hacked, it's a big issue. Yeah, so those are the things to kind of like guard against. But I'm very optimistic in terms of it because you can safeguard against all of those, right?
That's right. Thank you. And some of the mitigation factors that can be considered is, business continuity planning, BCP, something that we should be thinking about, without cloud, in fact. And definitely we need to consider the disaster recovery aspects as well. Well, in this session, we can't talk on these topics because they're very lengthy topics, but these are some things that everybody listening should think about. That's BCP, business continuity planning, and disaster recovery. I want to go to Bright because you and I had lots of discussions related to regulations, compliance, and if you can elaborate these questions, the importance of SaaS, and then looking at tech as well, then how does different laws impact tech? These are questions I had in mind, and I wanted to ask you this. I'm sure our other attendees would also love to hear your input on this.
All right, thanks, Anya. Yes, I mean, it's all good and well for us to incorporate technology in the way we deliver accounting, audit, and tax services. However, what is the point of us as, practitioners who effectively, we are the middle person between, obviously from a compliance and regulatory point of view, we are the middle person between doing business and assisting, authorities in terms of compliance. And now imagine if on the left-hand side, government is lagging behind in terms of technology. On the right-hand side, us business plus practitioners, we are busy, going at light speed towards tech innovation. It's going to create a jarring experience and guess what? We are the practitioners stuck in the middle of trying to balance client expectation and regulatory responsibility. So it's very important, in as much as we, as the community of business are busy, incorporating innovative tech solutions, it's very important for government to also have a perspective of trying to match from a minimum point of view what is happening out there. Looking at what's happening today, I feel many would agree with me that ever since COVID-19 lockdown and everything, SARS has really stepped up from a technological point of view, simply because they've been forced. And it's kind of a bittersweet sort of event, because now, obviously with lockdown, all the destruction that's happening from an economic point of view has forced governments to actually use technology the way it was meant to be used in the first place. And effectively, we're looking at how ETI has been pushed from it being paid out within 6 months, now it's being paid every month. And these are the type of things whereby us as practitioners, as long as our business clients, we've been ready to supply information because of payroll solutions. We've been able to process data way faster and supply the necessary information into SARS so that we can get the relevant returns in terms of getting, whether it's a VAT return or ETI return, in a timely manner. But we all know that with SARS, you submit something, it takes time for it to come back and effectively get a resolution. So at the end of the day, it's very important, and it's pleasing at the same time to see that SARS has stepped up somewhat to being able to assist us practitioners, and effectively we assist our clients. Now, another thing of which government needs to look into is policy, right? From a policy point of view, many of our tax rules are ancient at best, simply because if you look at the way business models are busy being innovated, the way, you look at your Ubers, you look at Facebook, all the types of business modules that these people are introducing into the business landscape, our tax authorities quick enough to be able to adapt and able to assist us as practitioners? Because remember now, our job is like we play both sides of the role. We are assisting with enforcement of laws, but we're also assisting on our clients to pay as little tax as possible, obviously within legal confines. So now, when you look at situations which I was sharing with Andrew, you look at small businesses. Everybody is giving, or most institutions are giving small businesses grants and sort of favors in terms of funding. But in terms of tax incentive, it's mostly you look at your SBC, your micro business. But now, what if a micro business, of which in terms of CIPC and whatever government oversight, small businesses, any business that generates under 20 million. Now, we know that when you surpass the 1 million mark, you have to register for VAT. Now, you look at a business in the transport section, which most people now, they're getting into transport because people are couriering, goods and services, simply because, there's a growing need for online services. Now, that business, they register for VAT. They are unable to claim back, the 15% that they are paying as a business to SARS for VAT, simply because petrol or fuel is a zero-rated product. Now, this eats up the profitability of that business. Now, what does government say about these type of regulations? That businesses are, hitting the core of innovation, of solutions or demand out there, but from a tax point of view, they are being effectively, they're getting the rough end of the deal, because now they can't maximize their profitability because of certain tax laws that are really anti-business innovation and sense. And there's many types of these examples that, from a SARS point of view, us as practitioners, we have to look in deep into the laws, case laws and everything to really extract that information. And I feel like that's something that we need to be aware of, because the more we hit on these laws and make, the revenue service aware, is hopefully some movement from a policy point of view will get introduced to show that this is a need that, if it's sorted out, it could, at the end of the day, help our clients to be in a better, standing. And also, we know that we're talking about tax morality. That's another thing that us as practitioners, we're busy balancing it out. We can come with all of these technological solutions, but if somebody just says, I don't want to pay VAT, for whatever the reason being is, we have to manage that relationship. So with all of this tech innovation, more responsibility is being thrown at practitioners, simply because we have this can-do attitude. We have, our clients are expecting us to be able to do magic, to really summarize it. And it's very important for the regulatory side of things to really assist us, to assist our clients.
Thank you. And I really like this online presence, Bright. If you can elaborate a little bit on this online presence.
Yes, so effectively, as I mentioned before, it's very important to establish an online presence, particularly as a practitioner, because it really directly reflects the trust level that you get from your prospective clients. And it's very important also to build on the professional side, because when you have an online presence, what happens is you are able to illustrate who you are so that your clients can know what you can do for them. Because as Nestene mentioned, if we are moving towards value-based offerings, I mean, if somebody reads your profile online and they don't see the value, no matter how cheap you are, how expensive you are, how experienced you are, you will be unable to get an opportunity to offer your service, simply because somebody is reading your profile and they're just not happy about it. And what this does effectively, it puts us in a position whereby we have to have partnerships with either service providers in terms of marketing, in terms of IT, just people to assist us to be able to, build our appropriate social presences. Another thing is the content that we advertise, right? I, as a BAP, I cannot be advertising myself as an auditor. That is incorrect. In fact, I don't know if illegal is correct, but it's definitely not right to do that, because I am false advertising myself. So this puts that aspect of us as practitioners, because we know that clients come to us. If you're an accountant, you can be perceived as an auditor. You can be perceived as anything that an accountant is expected to do. But it's very important to be able to be presenting yourself in an accurate manner. Otherwise, with what's happened in the past with your KPMG, state capture, and all that, those news and whatever that's happening there, we have seen that we cannot be abusing our power. So obviously, the idea of establishing an appropriate and professionally acceptable online presence is very important, simply because we don't want to be litigated for false advertising. You don't want to be illustrated to say you can do a job, and effectively the results comes in a way that you end up messing up your client's business in effect.
Thank you. Thanks a lot. So we've got just 4 minutes. I want to start with Tinashe. Final thoughts from you, Tinashe.
Thanks, Andrew. As we can all see, the cloud space is where we are all going, and accounting is in that space. We just need to be more careful. We want to avoid this scenario. I'm sure the practitioners that are on this panel, they've come across a scenario where somebody brings you their zero that is very much coiled up, and it becomes your business to try and fix that. We need to educate our clients that, yes, cloud solutions are there, but you still need a professional who understands how to manage this. Thanks, Andrew.
Thank you very much. Can I go to Louw to get your final thoughts?
Yeah, Andrew. Yeah, I'm still very excited about this space and the rate at which it's moving. A recent Zero report said companies that are digitally enabled and using cloud technology can grow 4 times faster and create jobs 3 times faster than companies that are not. So I think in an economy like South Africa's, and I guess almost every single economy in the world is desperate for growth and desperate for job creation right now. So I think embracing the cloud trends that are playing out at the moment and figuring ways out to digitize companies is a really big, it's a really big and important aspect of business today, and something for us as leaders to help figure out.
Thank you. And Nestene, your final thoughts, please.
Thanks, Anu. So my final thoughts are wake up and smell the opportunity. You know, like Louw just said, there's so much opportunity out there for us, guys. Yeah, traditional accounting as we know it is dead. Wake up, smell the opportunity, and go get yourself some global clients, like today, now. Also, my other final thought is I want to thank my fellow speakers and Anu. Anu, you've been doing such an amazing job of showcasing, you know, all our based areas of expertise. Fellow speakers, I just adore you. I mean, there's just so much expertise coming out of all of you. And to our fans out there that are really engaging in the live discussion and doing the poll right now, thank you so much for that. And I'm sure I speak on behalf of all the speakers if I say, you know, if you have more questions on this topic, if you want to chat about it, discuss, like, get in contact with us, and yeah, we'll be happy to chat with you further. So that's...
Thank you. And Bright, over to you for your final thoughts.
Thanks, Andrew. Yeah, guys, thank you very much. At the end of the day, accounting or cloud accounting is changing. Accountants have to change. In fact, each and every professional has to change out there. And really, my final thought is don't be afraid to try new things. Obviously, everything you have to take a little bit of skepticism. Don't just dive in. Try everything and feel your way through, because this is, as much as it's tech, it's a natural progression. We're all out there to improve, and this is, you know, one of the big ways to improve. So yeah, guys, once again, I do some content on YouTube. You can look out for me out there. And I mean, all of us as participants here or as speakers, we are available to help. So get in touch, guys. Let's do this.
Thank you very much, Tinashe, Nestene, Bright, and Louw. It's been a pleasure. And my final thoughts are there's plenty of opportunities, as a lot of the panel members mentioned. I like the fact, you know, Nestene mentioned value-based pricing and investment in relationships. But of course, don't forget the risks that are there, the tools available. You will need to upskill. That means learn, unlearn, and relearn. Don't forget the compliances as well. And of course, your social online presence. Be careful what you put out there, and look forward to engaging with you very soon. Thank you. This is Andrew, and look forward to connecting with you soon. Bye-bye.
Thank you so much, Andrew, for that. You were such an amazing moderator. Tinashe, Nestene, Bright, and Louw, you've read the comments. The attendees are really excited and happy about this session. Thank you for making it so amazing. We could go into another hour, but we do not have time. That's all we have for now. Our next session for this track will be at 11. So join us. Thank you so much.